Welcome back, everybody, to Two Guys, Three Crowns, the podcast about what it's really like to live in Stockholm, Sweden. Join me, Sean, and my fellow American Rodney as we explore the good, the bad, and the just plain weird.
I'm leaving on a jet plane. I got another damn COVID test today. Leaving on a jet.
Just one COVID test?
No, sir. Within the last 24 hours, I have actually had two COVID tests, and
One for each side?
almost. But me and COVID test, unlike you,
I feel what happened was...
Yeah, well, I would almost rather have blood drawn
Oh, God.
than to have a COVID test, because there's just something that doesn't. It just, I don't know.
It's
just
not
don't like
natural.
No, it's not. But the test I took yesterday, and I'm assuming that every single listener to our podcast has had the pleasure of experiencing these wonderful antigen, tests. But yesterday, the young woman that gave my test to me, I started asking for like tissues. I'm like asking for tissues, and because I know how I react once they jam that thing up my nose. So I'm prepping. I'm like, okay, if you have some tissues, and maybe I could just sit in the chair a couple minutes and gather myself afterwards. But she did the test, and I mean, the way she did the test, it was almost as if she didn't do the test. I mean, she was very gentle.
Oh, wow.
And
Nice.
she just, yeah, to the point where I almost wanted to give her a hug, because the amount of anxiety that builds up in me just waiting for that, for that.
Give her a hug. You might as well have just emblazoned, like, take my Swedish citizenship away from me.
Citizenship away from me. Right.
Here's a hug.
So here's a little twist to my little antigen story, and we've talked about traveling and trips that we've both had. You have had some whop banger stories on your trips and journeys across the globe into South American wilderness and all kinds of stuff.
Cows in the jungle, baby.
And the monkeys.
Yes.
But there's something. Traveling is. I'm not gonna say it's not fun anymore, but the amount
exactly
of
what you mean.
The amount of paperwork, and I'm traveling by myself, so I can just imagine for you to be traveling, with Dylan and Hanada, but I get so anxious about what paperwork, and do I have this paperwork, and do I have this, and is there a scannable barcode, do I print up triplicates so that I have backup copies in case one gets spilled coffee on, or whatever. But I decided to take my antigen test yesterday. My flight leaves tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. But I'm thinking, save myself a little bit of grief. I'll take the test, a day earlier, just so that I know if I'm going to be able to travel or not.
Oh, but you got to double check if it's the takeoff time or the landing time.
Woo! So let me tell you a little something about these times. Yeah. So for Lufthansa and flying, they have like a 48-hour thing. They're like, 48 hours. And I'm thinking, well, I'm well within the 48 hours. If I took it yesterday, I'm still looking good.
But
when I check into the airport today, Lufthansa sent me an email, and they said, due to all of the delays at Arlanda, you can actually check in today at the airport, get your luggage checked in.
Lies.
Well, no, but I'm thinking to myself, I was going to go and stay. I'm at a hotel now as we're recording this, just because I have to get up at 4. and I'm not getting up at 4 a.m. in Nynäshamn
Nope.
on purpose anytime
Nope.
soon. So I'm thinking, okay, hey, I'm down for that. I'm going to go to the airport anyway. I might as well go ahead and see what this check-in thing. There wasn't very many people around. I talked to a lady. I said, look, Lufthansa, and she's like, yeah, just go to the machine, check in. You'll get your luggage tag, your baggage sticker thingy. She said, put it on and then just leave it over there on the, check it in over there with that woman, and it'll go on the conveyor belt and you're all set.
But you need your COVID stuff to be able to check into the flight. Because if you can't get on the plane, they have to take your bag out of the box.
Aha! See?
Aha! So it's lies, because then the times are never going to line up.
But as I'm looking at my bag, I scan it and then it does its auto thing and it just jets, away from me and then hops on and I'm waving goodbye to my suitcase, and there is a woman sitting manning a station a little bit, further away, and I look at her and I'm like, how come my bag gets checked in and is now gone, and nobody has even checked my passport? They haven't checked my COVID, my shots, my antigen, nothing.
It's because that counter was for Lufthansa, not Lufthansa.
So when my bag gets to Wakanda, no, but it's, it was so strange, because I'm thinking, if they think that they have delays now, wait till tomorrow when people's luggage that's already in luggage land somewhere in Arlanda Airport. How weird. And the woman that I asked this to, she looked at me kind of, oh yeah, that's right. Your bag's already gone and you haven't really shown anybody who you are.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason your bag can't fly without you.
Exactly. There's a very big reason.
Yeah. A very explosive reason.
Exactly. So it was, it feels good to have gone ahead and sent the bag. And then I said, the COVID test, I have to show that. And she said, that's when it came up. And she was like, well, when did you take the test? And I said, I took it yesterday, 24 hours ago. And she said, ooh, she says, you're going to need to get another test now. And I was like, okay, because she said that the U.S. is 24 hours. Mm-hmm. You have 24 hours, from the testing.
You have to check the airline and the destination country and any countries that you're passing through.
Hey, you remember that little thing I was telling you about traveling not being quite as fun as it used to be?
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, I went and took another antigen test that I had booked and tried to cancel, but wasn't able to cancel and was able to take the test anyway. The woman that gave me this test had a little bit of a different technique. She
Jab and
was
twist.
She was going for some kind of record.
God!
Yeah.
You're still sniffling.
No, I mean, she stuck that pin so far in my nose that she corrected my eyesight. I think that my eyesight has actually gotten better. But the thing was, she was really fast. So she was like zick, 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 like roto-rooter.
So, like, and in 5 seconds, you just feel completely violated.
I was like standing there holding myself. No, but she... Yeah. But then the anxiety is back, because I'm thinking, okay, what if it was like a false negative yesterday, and then, this, plumbing Wonder Woman reaches some little
then it's
COVID
like
stash.
You have to wait to get your results. And it's like some places want you to download an app now. Others are sending you SMS. Others want your bank ID or like an email. And it's just like, how do I get the result now?
No.
And sometimes they'll just forget that you exist and you have to go get another rapid antigen that may or may not pass for a test.
Yeah. Well, and I'm going to wrap up my little antigen adventure. But to find the testing place here at Arlanda,
Which one?
Yeah, well, it's Genetech, Gena.
I know there's one in the basement, and there's one by the food court when you arrive from the Pendeltåg.
There's one in the parking lot. Hey,
Yeah,
buddy. Hey,
there is
buddy.
one in the parking lot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're like, psst, hey, you, psst.
Well, then it's like you have to book it ahead of time, right? Some they want you to
Right.
book ahead of time, but you never find that one.
You
That's what
book and
happened to
pay.
us. We booked it, and I'm like, how many rapid antigen
Right.
tests for travel stations can there be
Maybe.
in Arlanda Airport? And I guess they were like on
Yeah.
top of each other.
Right.
So one was in the basement floor and one was like at the floor we were at, but we booked the
Yeah.
basement. But then they're like, no, but you can just do it right now if you want.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm not even gonna unbook. Let's just go.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is what happened was I look down this like aisle in Terminal 5, and I see the logo of the company. I recognize the company logo, and it was on a roll up. And it was by these little weird check-in counters for some, they look like, I don't know if they're either shipping companies or some little obscure airlines, but it was like a guy, they were the only ones in this whole area. The roll up in
This
front of
sounds
their,
totally legit. I'm sure
oh,
they probably know where your bag is.
hey, probably. You want to take a look at your bag? So I look at the roll up, and the guy's like, "Hey, can we help you?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I'm looking, for the." He was like, "Oh, you here for the antigen test?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I'm here for the COVID test." He was like, "Okay, yeah, we can do it right here." And I was like, and yeah, and I was like, "What do you mean right here?"
Step
And he was
into
like,
my
"Well,
back room and I'll show you.
yeah, well, I told him. He says, "Well, do you have a book time?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I have a book time." He's like, "Oh, did you get like an order number?" And I was like, "Yeah, I have an order number. I printed everything out." He's like, "Okay, well, the place you're looking for is you have to go up and around the corner and around this other bend." So the guy, dude, he was like scamming because they had the roll up right in front of their spot. But
Oh my God, that's too funny.
yeah, what a what a day!
That's what it is to travel in this day and age.
Yes.
And then, so at the hotel, do you have to wear a mask everywhere, or are you still technically in Sweden, so COVID doesn't exist?
Here's another little nifty thing that Rodney learned yesterday. So I go to Apoteket to go ahead and and pick up like some hand lotion and some things in for the trip, and I look over and I see the surgical masks, and I'm like, well, I have my cloth masks and
No,
stuff from the
can't do
last.
that.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the surgical masks, and I'm thinking, okay, I'll just buy a 10 pack of midnight black face masks, and then right next to it are the other ones that are more like
Yeah, the KN95. That's what you
where
got
you
to
have
go
a
for.
conical, or they have like a different,
Yeah.
and they were 3 times as much
Yep.
for
Worth it.
5 face masks.
Yep.
But I asked the woman, I'm like, so what's the difference between these masks? And she was like, well, with this one you can fly international. The expensive masks.
Yeah, that's what
What
you
she
want.
was basically saying was that the El Cheapo masks, those aren't really doing anymore.
Yeah, they don't like
And
that anymore. And you cannot wear a
but
cloth.
no, and it didn't hit me until she actually said that, because I have read more small text in the last 48 hours.
Everyone's
You
reading
know,
the terms and
it,
conditions now.
it's just now I'm like da 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 da. So I'm reading, and then I remember, yeah, there was a section about approved face masks, that you're not allowed to wear cloth face masks or fabric face masks anymore. So what a catch that was. I mean, it was another one of those whoosh moments.
Yeah, but
So
hey, look at the bright side. At least there's no travel ban for entering the US or Sweden, so you don't have to worry about that extra layer of stress.
you know what? The way that things have gone so far, I would not be a damn bit surprised if halfway across the Atlantic,
Oh my God. It's too good.
halfway across the Atlantic, you're going to be like, this is your captain speaking. We have some last minute details for people that are going to the United States from Sweden. If your flight originated at Arlanda Airport in Stockholm,
Yep.
Thanks, try
Yep.
again.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So
Um,
tomorrow, bright and early, 6 a.m., you take off.
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Either I'm leaving, or my suitcase is leaving, or one of us is going to San Francisco. So,
But you have to, if you're flying Lufthansa, you would have to fly through like a Frankfurt or something, right?
Frankfurt,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
No direct flights from Orlando.
Not right
You
now, but
might buy one, but they're going to change it later. They're going to
I
send you
saw a
through
big
somewhere.
yeah, but I saw a big billboard, and there's no airline on it, but on the billboard it says Stockholm to USA direct.
Lies.
But
Lies.
yeah, yeah. Hey, I bet you it's that airplane motel over there. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like,
They
like,
fly real fast, real high.
yeah, yeah. You're like, hey, you want first class? I got first class. Um, yeah, so it is. Well, the flight is supposed to leave at 6 a.m. The main reason that I'm actually staying at the hotel this evening is because I'm going to be getting up at like 3:45.
Yep.
Um,
And
and
you do need that time to check into a flight these days. Like before it was like,
yeah,
oh, international travel, be here 3 hours ahead. And everyone's like, 3 hours ahead, get out of here. I'm going to show up 20
yeah,
minutes before the plane takes off.
yeah. I'm going to be running. I'm going to be doing
Yeah, no,
the old
now there's
dash.
like, you know how there was the line to get through security that was
Right,
always a pain in the butt? Now there's that line, but twice as big at the check-in
right.
counter. Like they're going to make you
Yeah.
do some kind of check-in process. Guaranteed.
Well, if they try and stop me and make me go stand in a line somewhere, I'm gonna say that, look, there was a lady, I don't know what her name was.
It was Lufthansa. I'm telling you, Lufthansa.
She was sitting right over at that chair, and she said that I didn't have to go through security, or that she said I could just go right to the.
So when you get
We'll
there,
see.
what's the first stop? Knights of the Round Table.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I'm definitely my plane. One of those wonderful scientific marvels. I leave at 6 a.m. in the morning, and I get to San Francisco at like 1:45 in the afternoon. Same
How?
day.
Who knows?
Yeah, sounds like a lot of movies to me.
Yeah,
I
it's going to
am
be
gonna
fun going
be
back. That's for sure.
yeah, and back is a whole nother story because
We're not ready for
that
that yet.
no, that little adventure we'll have to fill people in on because there's a passport kind of mixed up in that one a little bit.
Oh God.
So, hey, well, let's put it. Hey, getting to the United States isn't going to be a problem if we put it that way.
Oh boy, just print out a bunch of person bevis forms and Scott the
Yeah,
Verket population
yeah.
registry.
No.
Just print it
Well,
all out.
I'm bringing my
Someone will look
Swedish
at it.
driver. I'm bringing my Swedish driver's license, and if
Oh, there
they're
you
like,
go.
"Well, do you have a?" and they could be like, "Well, do you have a passport?" And I'm gonna be like, "You know what? It's a hell of a lot harder to get a Swedish driver's license than it is to get a passport."
Swedish passport. I just had to sit around here for 15 years, and it showed up one day.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. Um, hey, so without jinxing it, well, I could jinx the weather because I'm leaving, but today was okay. It does feel like we're starting,
Man, like,
or
get me to the second week of May. We're not out of the woods until we cross the threshold of that first week of May snowstorm.
right.
Every year, it's coming.
Yeah. What
Just
did
be
you?
like,
What
oh,
did
by
you?
the way, I can still do this.
Right, but what did you send me? You sent me a little message that said, was it
Someone's sitting
somebody
on the
sitting?
weather remote.
It was like
The
snow,
volume's
sleet, and
all over
shine.
the place. It's up, it's down, then it's like static on going everywhere.
Yeah,
Horrible, horrible,
uh,
horrible.
yeah.
So for people who aren't in Sweden, it snowed a lot since our last episode. Like, it didn't stick for very long, but it was like
Uh,
the flakes one day were like the size of
uh,
pennies. They were
yeah,
huge.
it was crazy. And it also is that time of the year where people are switching from winter tires to their summer tires,
Ha!
and
Mm-mm. Too
a ton of
soon.
people, hey, a ton of people have already changed. So slip sliding away.
Well, that's like, you remember a couple weeks ago, I think it was still March. Had to be March still. And it was like 15 degrees and everyone was like getting that optimism. And I'm like, nope, false advertising, people.
Don't do it. Don't
and Hinata was like, oh, should we get the cushions out of the basement for the outdoor chairs? I'm like, absolutely not.
Right. We'll let Rodney do that jinx move.
Yeah, it was. You must have made a teriyaki outside. See, when you took Duchess out there and you're barbecuing in the snow, it was like, oh, okay, you want to play that game?
All I did was like look at new cushions for our chairs at the store. That's all it took. I didn't even, I swear, I haven't done anything more than like look at summer cushions. And the weather just went bonkers.
Yeah, not good. Not good.
Sean, you often remind me that we are an audio media, that we don't have, you know, and this is gonna, I'm just gonna do this quickly, and I'm gonna point at it and try and describe this. But you see the TV, I have my hotel TV here behind me on the wall.
Flat screen,
very big,
thin frame TV.
So
and you have some kind of black gong over your other shoulder.
I think that's my wake up gong. That's my wake up gong. If you want to see these things, go into the YouTube. The YouTube.
Sorry, can't help you here on your podcast app.
But okay, so you see my TV, and everybody in listener land can visualize what it is that we're looking at. I bring my bags in.
Why is it on, by the way?
It's just, that's just the way it is. It's a hotel TV. It's just on. It's just, that's the way it is. But this is the first time that I noticed when I looked at the TV, I'm like, oh, I wonder what's on. Up in the corner of the screen, it says, "Welcome back, Rodney Hiram."
Whoa.
Yeah.
You do this a lot?
Yeah. That freaked me out a little bit. I was looking for one of those things where I could like, where it says knows too much.
Do you have a what kind of hotel is it again? What brand?
It's a Comfort. So I think it's like a Nordic choice. I mean, they have all my info. I went through.
Yeah, I was going to say you must have a profile or something.
Well, I mean, hotels.com, right? I get my little. I'm trying to save up my night. So that they have my name, okay. You know,
But if they have your name and they know you've been there before, so they're saying "Welcome back, Rodney." They didn't get the spam?
But
hello?
Yeah, but it's just that's starting to feel a little weird when your hotel TV, when you walk into the room and it has your name up on the thing.
Well, at least it's not talking to you like Alexa. Hello, Rodney.
Not yet.
Welcome back.
I'm
sorry.
Yet.
I can't do that.
Right. Be like, have you bought
HAL
your Snickers? Have you bought your Snickers for your airplane flight yet? Be like,
Yeah, exactly. Have you found your headphones? That's always the one. Like, I know I'm going to lose another pair of headphones every time I have to travel. Like, you know how we have our business models? That's my next business model, is subscription Apple headphones.
Yeah.
Because I run through those things like nobody's business. I can't get that. The little mini AirPods that don't have a cord, those would never work for me. I would lose them in 2 seconds.
2 seconds. 2 seconds. And then you can buy like a little cord to attach to them, but then you're kind of defeating the whole purpose of having like a cordless.
Well, yeah, I would have to get the little tag thing that's like the RFID chip that tracks the GPS of where it goes. So I would have this little tiny AirPod sticking in my ear with a giant tag on the side of it. Yeah. Okay, guys, I know how to use technology.
Hey, one little thing is over here behind the TV, there's actually a brown paper bag hanging on the wall. And on the brown paper bag, it says that if you want to leave any clothing or shoes or stuff, that they will make sure that it gets donated to an organization. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. I thought that was kind of a nifty
yeah, that's super nice. I don't know who's getting rid of their clothes in a hotel while they're traveling, but...
Yeah. And I already checked my bag in. So... I mean,
you only got one pair of underwear left, and you're wearing them right now.
Right. Hey, in all honesty, I actually went and and put my put my pants back on because it was, as soon as I got into the hotel room, I was like, okay, let's just stretch out and I'm thinking to myself, well, I mean, even the video portion of our podcast, it's like, you know, it's just like a top view, but it just felt a little off.
But it's
It
so
just
funny,
felt a
like
little.
when you're an adult and you're traveling alone, like especially for business stuff, and
Right.
you're in a hotel room all for yourself, you just
Yeah.
become a heathen. It's like, I'm not wearing clothes, man. Come on. I'm walking around this place
Oh,
free to the world.
freedom, freedom. Yeah, I
Yeah,
have
and
spread
while you're
out.
at it, deliver me a slice of pizza, a bunch of French fries, and something else totally unhealthy to my room.
I think I'm gonna go down and like just buy stuff. I'm gonna be like, do you have any like drip? It's something dripping like with grease and bacon fat and
It's like, ooh,
something like
another like new age vending machine. I'll just have like one of each. I'm not gonna eat it. I'm just gonna use all this stuff.
that.
And then like,
Exactly.
I don't use conditioner, but today I do.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Boom. Boom. Hey, do you guys, Sean? Do you guys have plans coming up for Easter?
We're gonna try and hang out with some friends. We might go to the big zoo, Kolmoren, the
Cool.
one that's
Oh,
like an hour
cool.
outside of Stockholm.
Yeah, Kolmorden. Kolmorden.
Yeah, exactly.
The animal. Yeah. Yeah,
Kolmoren.
that's the one. That's the one. That's the one.
Yeah, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna try maybe hit up what's it, the Butterfly House by the big park up near
Nice.
Solna.
Yep.
And yeah,
They have
just
like
find a couple
sharks
other
too,
fun
right?
little things. Yeah. They have the shark swimming around going, I swear to God, if one of these humans puts so much as a finger in this fishbowl, I'm gonna chew it right off.
Now tell me about the meeting where they discussed mixing butterflies and sharks. How
Hey
how
man,
did they?
there's a lot about Swedes that I don't understand.
But where did that?
And like, why is it there as well? Because it
Hmm.
feels like it's a pop-up installation, like it's
Right.
a temporary thing. Because you go when you get there, you have to park far away, walk through the
Right.
park for a ways. But then when you get up, there's no like road going right up to the museum. It's like gravel strewn across the grass.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's like, what are you in town for a month and then you're packing up and taking this circus on the road?
It sounds to me like they're not really 100% convinced that that concept's going to work either. you know?
Oh my God. Yes, completely. So yeah,
They're,
put it on the list. And then, yeah, we're going to, Dylan has been asking me to ask the Easter Bunny to bring this will only make sense to me right now, but I will explain it
okay.
to you later. A Ricky Zoom for Chase.
A Ricky Zoom for Chase.
A Ricky Zoom for Chase. So
Okay.
Chase is a character of Paw Patrol, which is like a
Yeah, I know
favorite
that.
show, like top 5 of all time.
Right.
So he's
Right.
got these. It's not Lego or Duplo. It's what is it? Mega Blocks. It's the same thing as Duplo, but it's just a different
Mega
brand.
blocks. Right.
Same size, same shape, same all that. But
Okay.
it's like a tower, and it came with a couple of the characters and their vehicles because the show's all about them driving cars in their theme. So Chase is a
Paw
police
Patrol.
officer, Marshall is the fireman, all that stuff.
Okay.
Rubble for the construction, he's the bulldog. Anyway, we got this for him for Christmas, and he opened it in Miami, and we took it up with us to when we went to Orlando. And somewhere between Spider-Man and Mickey Mouse and the hotel room, the motorcycle disappeared. So Chase had a motorcycle. Now, it's a Ricky Zoom for Chase because another one of his favorite shows is called Ricky Zoom. And it's a cartoon where it's all of these anthropomorphic motorcycles that have faces and can talk.
Oh, okay.
So Ricky
So
Zoom
he
for
wants
Chase.
one of the. So he's mixing his shows.
Oh yeah,
He
yeah.
wants
He's got his own language
Okay.
going on. You have to keep up with the references, man. This kid moves fast. And I'm like, so between all of that and now the latest thing is, this is probably a good place to end on, aiming his farts. That's his new favorite hobby as well.
Okay. Okay.
So when like
Oh,
we take him out of the bath and we're drying him off and we put like
right.
like a Destin, like a diaper cream like on his
Okay.
butt, especially for night
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. He'll wait until Hinata is applying it, and then
Right.
he rips one. And if he can't rip
Yeah.
one, then he's like,
Right.
you can tell every muscle in his body is straining, squeezing. I must have one more in me.
Yeah.
And then, like, you realize what he's doing, and he starts cackling. He can't stop.
Okay.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, are you trying to fart on me? It's like, yeah.
Yes. Pull my finger. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Okay.
Except, like, not even that. Like, you don't get the option. He'll just be like, hey, I'm going to tell the Easter Bunny you're aiming your farts at me, and then Ricky Zoom for Chase isn't going to show up.
It'd be like the Easter Bunny showed me.
All right, everyone, you know what that sound means. That will do it for this week's episode. We want to wish Rodney a very safe and happy travels. Make sure you go check us out on Instagram. I'm sure Rodney is going to be posting some crazy antics from his trip. And then come back here next time for more Two Guys, Three Crowns.